What's poppin', people? I'm Rated D and I've tested positive for swag. And so this is my first episode in a series that I'm going to do yearly right before E3, where I count down my top 10 favorite PlayStation 4 games. They don't have to be exclusive, but they obviously have to be great in my opinion at least. Obviously, not everyone's going to agree with me. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So for 2016, my number 10 game is LittleBigPlanet 3. Now, LittleBigPlanet is a very well-known franchise. It's obviously exclusive to PlayStation, and it was started by Media Molecule, though they did not make LittleBigPlanet 3. And LittleBigPlanet is something for people of all ages. I mean, it appeals to kids based off the visuals, but at the same time, the creativity appeals to adults and really anybody that is willing to put in the effort to make some of these amazing levels. And at the end of the day, it's just plain fun. It's a family-friendly game. You can play with your kids, whatever. So, LittleBigPlanet 3, I've enjoyed my time with it. I've enjoyed playing a lot of the other online maps that people have created. And it's just a fun game to play. There's some really cool stuff. People have created 3D Mario Kart levels. People have created like a Shrek Outlast type of level. It's unbelievable what people are able to do with this game. So, LittleBigPlanet 3 at number 10. Number 9 is Infamous Second Son. Now, this game was one of the first games to really show off the power of the PlayStation 4. The game is absolutely gorgeous. And while the story may not be the best in the world, it's definitely intriguing enough to keep you interested the whole way through. But Seattle in this game looks absolutely gorgeous. The rain, especially at nighttime, is stunning. Granted, the layout may not be exactly the same as the actual city in the real world, but you get the general vibe. And it's just a fun game to play too. Sucker Punch is some of the best in the business when it comes to dealing with superpowers in games. So Infamous Second Son is definitely one of my favorite PlayStation 4 games, and in my opinion, the best Infamous game. Number 8, Until Dawn. Now, this game surprised a lot of people. This was something that spread through word of mouth. A lot of gamers enjoyed this game. And, somebody would play it, they'd tell their friend, you gotta play this game. They'd tell their friend, you gotta check this out. The game exceeded expectations in regards to sales, and, I mean, it's just a beautiful game to look at the end of the day. It can also bring in casuals in a similar way to what Quantic Dream's games do. And it's basically an interactive movie in that sense. It's a cheesy, horror movie with stupid, teenagers that are absolutely hilarious. The game, it's one of a kind, dude. It is funny, it's tense, it's got an interesting story on top of that, and like I said, it's absolutely beautiful. But the thing that really impressed me about this game the most was the replay value. When you have so many different choices throughout the course of the game, I mean, it's unbelievable. You don't, unless you have a guide, you're not going to know how to get all the trophies, how to get, this game is great. I absolutely loved Until Dawn. Number 7. Now, this is where things could get a little bit shady for some people, but for me, number 7 is the Order 1886. I understand all the complaints that people had for this game, but my goodness was I immersed into it. This game set the bar as far as graphics go, and it had an amazing story. It really did. It's the type of thing where I sincerely hope that the bad reviews, or not bad, but average reviews that it got, I sincerely hope that did not make it so that there's not going to be a sequel, because I want to see what's going to happen next. The story was amazing. I loved it. The gameplay, the combat was very fun. I feel like there was a bit too much walking around, but the combat was a blast. It was very vicious and brutal. And even the stealth section, I enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace. So for me, like I said, I understand if other people don't feel this way, but the Order 1886 is number 7 on my list. Number 6, Destiny. Now, this game is an addiction, and that's one of the main reasons why I have it on this list, okay? I definitely see the flaws that this game has had throughout the years, but my goodness, was it addicting, and it was fun to play. I spent over 100 hours on the game. It was just plain fun, you know? Now, granted, I didn't buy any of the DLC because I see that it's a total scam, but there was definitely enough in the main game alone to keep me hooked for a long time. The art in this game is absolutely gorgeous, and I can only imagine what they could do if they had a better engine for next-gen consoles, you know? And the story was non-existent, but the game was just plain fun to play. And for me personally, I love the multiplayer in Destiny. The competitive multiplayer, I mean. I had a blast playing that. And at the end of the day, I really can't wait to see what they're going to do with the next full installment in the Destiny series. Number 5, the Ratchet and Clank reimagining on PlayStation 4. This game blew my mind in regards to the visuals, and I liked how they changed things up. It's not meant to be an actual remake for the Ratchet and Clank series, but it's a proper reimagining, just like they said. And having played through the first game so many times on PS2 and PS3, it was very, very interesting for me to see how they changed up the levels for the PS4 version. Now, granted, they didn't have all the same levels because it's a different story with different characters and all that, but I still really liked how they remade many of the levels. On top of that, I mean, at the end of the day, the game's just plain fun to play. Like I said, I mean, the weapons in Ratchet and Clank, they're some of the most fun to use in any game, you know? And it really is one of the best games on PlayStation 4, and at $40 instead of $60, I mean, that's a deal you cannot pass up on. Number 4, PT. Now, this game doesn't really need any introduction. I don't even really need to say anything about it. Everybody knows about this game. I still have it on my PS4 as well as on an external hard drive backed up, and it really is something unique. Now, granted, the final puzzle can be frustrating, but it really is interesting how Kojima knew to do something like that, to bring the internet together and make this game the phenomenon that it was. And the fact that you can't download it if you have never downloaded it yet, I mean, that just adds to the feeling of this game being special. You know what I mean? It really is one of the most intriguing games ever created, and definitely one of the scariest. Number 3, Bloodborne. This game was unbelievable. I mean, this game was my first Souls game. I didn't play any of the other ones just because they didn't really intrigue me that much, not even Demon Souls on PS3. But as soon as I saw the first reveal trailer for Bloodborne, I was hooked. The atmosphere, the art style, the music, everything coming together to immerse you in that universe was unbelievable. And I fell in love with this game. It is one of the best games ever made, and it's just plain fun to play once again. And even if you have issues with some of the enemies being too difficult, just play in co-op and you can get past them, you know? Now, I platinumed this game. There are only a handful of bosses that I beat in co-op, most of them in the Chalice dungeons. And, I mean, the game was just plain amazing. I mean, I really don't have much else to say about this. There are some bosses in this game that will make you enraged, but once you beat them, it is very satisfying. And the DLC, The Old Hunters, was phenomenal. Everything about this game pretty much was perfect. The only issue that I had was some of the issues with the frame rate. And that's it. I mean, the game is about as perfect as it gets. Number 2, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Now, anybody that knows me knows I am a total Assassin's Creed fanboy, and Black Flag was incredible. I got this game at launch with the PlayStation 4, and my goodness was I not let down. I mean, this game was everything I could ever ask for in a game. And my favorite game growing up was the first Jak and Daxter. And Assassin's Creed 4 is like the realistic evolution of Jak and Daxter, you know, Assassin's Creed in general. And with Black Flag, you know, you've got the beautiful environments, you know, the tropical areas and whatnot. And the pirate aspect to it was just amazing. It was so well done. The ship combat, I'm telling you, boarding ships in this game is some of the most fun you will ever have in a game. And on top of that, the water and the rain, the weather effects, all that stuff in this game is still difficult to top to this day. The team did a fantastic job with that. The game is beautiful, the story is intriguing, and if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, you'll definitely enjoy it. And for anybody that's not an Assassin's Creed fan, you've got all the pirate stuff, which is definitely a blast to play for as well. I mean, the game's just great all around. Definitely one of my favorite games ever, and very difficult to top. Number 1, of course, it's Uncharted 4 Thief's End. This game is about as good as a game can ever get. I mean, I didn't have very high hopes for this game. I talked about it in the past, the things going on at Naughty Dog, some of the directions that they were going in. I didn't have much faith in this game, and it blew my mind. This game is unbelievable. It takes aspects of the previous Uncharted games, and of The Last of Us, and of Assassin's Creed, and it puts it all together so nicely. And some of the set pieces in this game, if you are not impressed by the set pieces in Uncharted 4, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the last 2 set pieces in this game, the tower collapse, as well as the one where being chased through the city, I mean, it is unbelievable some of the things that go on in this game. The game is insane. The story is great. I mean, it is a fitting end to Uncharted. Anyway, that's it for this video, you guys. Let me know what your top 10 PS4 games are so far. And like I said, I'll be doing one of these every year right before E3. And obviously when the PS5 comes out, PS5 top 10 games, you know what I mean? So I'm going to update this yearly. It's not going to be like just a one-time thing where, you know, God of War 4 comes out and, you know, I'll still have something like, say, Until Dawn above that. Obviously, God of War is going to be something that's going to be high up on the list. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be done yearly. Hope you guys enjoy this series. And like I said, let me know what you guys think as far as your favorite PlayStation 4 games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Keep it frosty.